Hello, Crystal and Currents. I'll get started here shortly, just making sure that we are shared out to Sacred Healing Project. We're going to be talking about Kunzite. Right now, what you hear playing, though, is Cold Sunshine by S.J. Tucker. She is amazing. Chelsea, welcome. Go ahead and say hello when you guys jump in. Let me know that you can see and hear me. Joni, I see you. Yes, I love this song, Cold Sunshine, by S.J. Tucker. Oops. Amanda, where have you been? I have missed you. Also, how is everybody doing right now with the end of Mercury retrograde? We're almost out of the shadow period, so we are nearly there. Sorry about that. I think we're back up. I dropped off of the Wi-Fi just to make sure that we were not going to fall off. But my question was, how's everybody doing now that we're really moving out of that shadow period of Mercury retrograde? No, it's the Wi-Fi. Should be better now, though. Must be just right in the land of the cold sunshine. All right, so let's jump into this. Yeah, this ending of this Mercury retrograde has been pretty intense, realistically. This whole Mercury retrograde was one that was very cleansing and purifying, so I'm always very grateful for the lessons that come with Mercury retrogrades. While they're not easy, they're necessary and they're needed, and I literally feel like I level up as a being after each one of them. So while I don't always enjoy the ride, the end of it, where we actually get to on the journey, is always worth it. So it just takes a little bit of reflection during it to make sure that we're really staying in that higher consciousness, to make sure, you know, that we are really learning the lessons that we need to learn so that we don't have to revisit them, because you don't want to miss the lesson and then have to revisit it again each and every single retrograde. Alexis, welcome. Sarah, welcome. Yeah, I would say, Sarah, I agree with you. Still a bit out of sorts. Like, for me, I understand the lesson I'm learning, but how to really progress and heal through it, I haven't quite figured that portion out of it yet. But I'm grateful for the messaging so that I have the opportunity to explore. But I agree with you. I do feel like I'm still very much in that exploration stage of, you know, where is this taking me? Where does this lesson really want me to go? Moving into Scorpio is going to be needed after that Mercury retrograde for me anyways. Yeah, that's going to have a different effect for a lot of people, Chelsea. And it will depend very much on where your Sun, Moon, and Venus is, along with your Mars. Scorpio is kind of a rough sign. So Sun moving into Scorpio, again, depending upon your sign, for a lot of people, especially water signs, so if you're a water sign in your sun, your rising, or your moon, you're going to feel, again, a revisitation of the shadow period. So the shadow self. You're going to really have to look at those parts of you that you still need to work on. That's going to be very prominent with the Scorpio moving into that, or the sun moving into Scorpio. But again, super dependent upon where the rest of your chart looks as well. And I am by no means an astrology expert, so if you're looking for that, I am not it. I just know enough to be dangerous with that. But what I do want to address is, I think there's a lot of people right now that have been looking for a lot of the grounding exercise, but also I think anxious and anxiety emotions can really come up. Yeah, Chelsea and Alexis, you guys might have a fun ride with the sun moving into Scorpio. However, it is a perfect time to see what your priority is for those parts to be healed. So maybe it's my Enneagram 7, but I always love the opportunity to learn the lessons. I like for what I need to focus on to be revealed to me. So I'm also not afraid of that confrontation that comes with that, though. So that could be more of my Enneagram scale coming into play. But I appreciate the learnings and the lessons that come with difficulties. And the more you're willing to take a look at those difficulties, the easier it will be as well. So as long as you don't shy away from it, it can make it a lot simpler to move through and heal from as well. But one thing that I think we're all kind of looking through coming out of Mercury retrograde is that sense of, who am I? Like, what is this? And a little bit of those paranoid or anxious emotions can kind of come up with that. Just not knowing where you're going or truly like where everything fits right now. And one thing that I've noticed a couple people say, is that, oh man, I've been doing the selenite cleanse and seal, and it just like, I'm still like kind of out of it. So here's selenite, technically satin spar if we want to be very technical, but same process. So if you guys have been following me, you know how to do the selenite cleanse and sealing for the auric field. I would say if you are noticing that you are still anxious though, after you are doing the selenite sweep, cleanse, and seal of that auric field, take a look at Kunzite. Kunzite has a lot of lithium content. Lithium is one that is amazing for helping to decrease any anxious emotions, anxiety, depression, a lot of that. Again, you guys know I'm not a medical doctor, all metaphysical advice here. But you can do the exact same thing with that auric field cleansing and sealing with Kunzite as what you can with selenite. So that exact same process, you'll do the same sweep with the Kunzite. Kunzite with that additional lithium content, it's still going to cleanse and seal your auric field, but it's also going to alleviate a lot of the anxiety or anxious emotions that can come up with that. The process of healing can bring up that. The process of unknowing. Yeah, Alexis, that's one of those really little known facts. Another one that has lithium in it that I think people don't realize is Pneumite. So taking a look at both of those are really good. So again, if you're looking for a grounding stone right now because of those issues going on, take a look at Pneumite. Just again, because of the lithium content. But I really like the aspect of Kunzite with this, not only for the lithium content, but also for the aspect of Kunzite very, very much connects us into our guide team. That can be source energy, highest guides, ancestors, angels, spirit guides, whatever you want to call that energy. Kunzite really, really flows through that connection to make sure that those passageways are open. And I think sometimes when we have anxious emotions come up, it's because we feel disconnected from our higher self or disconnected even from source energy. Now, some of that, if we're looking at it, we would be looking at that first transpersonal chakra, so about 6 inches above your head. In Janessa, with Fiercely Radiant Soul, Energy Psychology Land, the God Switch could be something that we would be looking at as well, just to make sure that that God Switch is fully open and functioning as well. So if you're interested in learning more about that, hit her up at Fiercely Radiant Soul, or of course you can find both of us in Sacred Healing Project. So certainly if you guys are really interested in content like this, but not just the delivery of information, the actual learning of the techniques to be able to use at home, I highly encourage you to jump into Sacred Healing Project as one of those subscribers, or if you haven't done your free trial period, go ahead and do that as well. Because rather than just delivering you content and information, we actually deliver the techniques that you can use in your everyday lives at home to do this for yourself, rather than having to go to a practitioner every time to help you with things that really can be done at home. So again, I'll drop that link in the comments for that. And actually, let me go ahead and do that right now. Here's where you can sign up. It is www.sacredhealingproject.com. And with that, also, if you are interested in individualized services, those different subscriber levels definitely give you a discount off of our practitioner services as well. So many, many ways that this literally pays for itself. So take a look at that if you haven't gone in there. There are a ton of really great techniques. But back to Kunzite though. When you're working with Kunzite, you're really tapping into those higher guides and that higher self energy. So when we feel a little bit lost, or like we don't really know what the communication is coming in, which we can still be feeling that, we're not quite outside of that shadow period of Mercury retrograde yet. when you really kind of can't translate something, I like the aspect of Kunzite, and I really love the Kunzite with that auric field cleansing and sealing as well. So take a look at that. I highly encourage you guys to try, if you have Kunzite, go through and do that auric field cleansing and sealing with Kunzite, and drop in the comments how you feel with that. Let me know how that feels to you. It's one of those that it's a very different feeling to use Kunzite than it is to use selenite. I love using Kunzite on kids too, so if you're looking at, helping your children through these times, it's kind of a different time for everybody, right? So children feel these energies just as much, if not more so, than we do. Kunzite is just gentler, in my opinion, than selenite, so it's gentler, but also very connected into that source energy. So take a look at Kunzite. If you haven't, definitely look at it. And you know what? I don't even mind which color you use for the auric field cleansing and sealing. Kunzite comes in so many different colors. This is a pink one that transitions into clear, but it comes in purple. There's bluish colored ones. There's green, there's clear, there's yellow. So it doesn't matter. Don't focus on the color. Don't worry about it. Just use it to cleanse and seal that auric field, and let me know how you feel in the comments after that. Sarah, thank you. I certainly think that it is worth it. I think the content in there certainly over delivers what you would expect for something as low as $11.11 per month. So thank you for that confirmation. I think I saw a question though. Carol, I do have Kunzite. Yes, if you want to private message me, I can certainly go ahead and send you some photos. I think I have all of the colors available. Except for possibly blue. I don't think I have any that are that tealish color. All of mine are natural as well. I don't do any of the dyed ones. So that's one thing you gotta be careful with Kunzite, is making sure that you're getting natural and not dyed, because purple is one of the rarest colors of Kunzite, and you will see it dyed often along with the green. So it's just something to be careful with. But if you ever question it, again, there's always muscle testing that Janessa teaches us in Sacred Healing Project, along with pendulum use. If you understand either of those techniques, you can always consult them to see if the Kunzite you are getting is natural, or if perhaps it is a dyed one. So do you guys have any questions for me about the energies, about crystals, about Kunzite, about selenite, anything you would like to ask? Alexis, I can. I have some really beautiful big pieces. I have smaller pieces, so I have everything that's probably going to fit in everybody's price range as well. I am a Kunzite hoarder because I love it. And again, you guys know with that Sacred Healing Project subscription, you get that subscriber discount off of my crystals as well. Is Kunzite the one used to help release trauma? Chelsea, there are a lot of crystals that I use in my trauma release work, so I can't narrow it down to one or even 20. Depends on the trauma response itself. Is Kunzite one that I will use in specific trauma response relief? Yes. It is. Anything that's going to really connect in with the higher self, the source, the highest guides, all of that is going to often be one that I use in trauma release help. So it can be used, but it is not the only one, if that makes sense. Let's see, Carol, if I have 2 small pieces of Kunzite, can those be used, or does it need to be bigger? Small is fine. You can use, for the auric field cleansing and sealing, you're not trying to do it from far away, right? You're almost touching the body. So, I mean, it's literally like touching the specific points. So size doesn't matter in this case because you're touching the body with it. So 2 small ones can certainly be used. And I will tell you, Kunzite does not typically come in basically a natural wand like this one. So these are fairly difficult to find. Let me see, like, there's some really big specimens. This is Kunzite too. So, I mean, Kunzite literally comes in 5 million different styles. This is also Kunzite. All of the Kunzite I have, though, is pretty high grade. The smaller pieces are going to look much more like this, though. But I do have some larger ones like the other 2 as well. So definitely I can send anybody photos that they are looking at. I feel like I remember I get agitated after a short while since I haven't worked with it much. With Kunzite, Chelsea? The agitation is with Kunzite or with selenite? Which one? Yeah, Alexis, this is my personal favorite. I think this is the one you're talking about. This is one that I certainly splurged on because I could not leave her. I would not put Kunzite in water, Mitch, no. But I know you like to do a lot of the moon waters and the elixirs. You can always put the Kunzite on the outside of the glass. And most of the Kunzite that I have is terminated. And typically Kunzite is terminated. So, like, I think you can see these guys are terminated here at the top. Just point the terminations, Mitch, at the cup of water, and you'll still get the same results from the energy, too. I would need to look at the toxicity table, too. I don't know. Let me look at this real quick because I want to make sure you guys have this. For toxicity, let me see. And this toxicity table is also linked in Sacred Healing Project in quite a few places, but I want to drop it here too so that you have it. It's by no means a complete comprehensive list, but I would say it is pretty good. Yeah, and that's what I thought. Kunzite also contains aluminum, Mitch, so you wouldn't want to put it directly in the water to ingest it, so to speak. But so if you do the indirect method of just placing it outside of the water, then you'll be just fine with that and get the same energies flowing through you as well. So great idea. And I did drop the link to the toxicity table that I often refer to, which is the hibiscus moon toxicity table, to know if they are toxic or can be used. So definitely take a look or save that link as well. Any other questions before we jump into the Sacred Healing Project's free card pulls? Or pendulum questions, whatever you guys would like to do tonight. Drop your questions throughout. I'll always come back to them. So it's not like you have to do it right now either or have those questions ready. If you guys watch on replay, drop them in the chat and I will absolutely come back and answer those questions as well. So does anyone have any questions for the cards or pendulum questions, or just want like a general reading? Let me know what you guys are interested in for tonight. And if there are no questions, no worries. I can do a general reading as well. Yes, Carol, there is a beautiful piece of Kunzite at the Emerald Healing Arts and Apothecary right now. It is one of the absolutely amazing ones. So again, if you guys are Sacred Healing Project subscribers, ask your questions away and I will answer them. I do this every other Monday for our subscribers of Sacred Healing Project. If you're not a subscriber, you can certainly do so at www.sacredhealingproject.com. Let's see. First one. Is there a particular area of life I should be watching right now? Let's dive into that, Joni. Is there a specific area of life? Let's pull some tarot cards. Ooh, Mitch, that's a good one. Janessa and Mitch just asked, how do you know it is not you controlling your pendulum? I keep getting the same yes. That is a great question, and there are many reasons that that could be, but here's some insider for you guys. I know Janessa and I are taking a look at doing a workshop on how to muscle test and pendulum use so that you get accurate answers. So that is something I think we're looking at hopefully providing next month, though. So drop in the chat if that is something that you would be interested in, because there's a lot of ways to troubleshoot that, Mitch, to be able to work through it, but I wouldn't be able to give you a this is always the reason, so to speak, but that workshop would really cover many of those issues from a pendulum standpoint. But then you would also get Janessa with Fiercely Radiant Souls, energy psychology standpoint and muscle testing, to where, you know what, if you're in a store and you need a pendulum and you don't have one on you, you can use your body to get the same answers as what you get from your pendulum. I used to be 100% pendulum use, and I am now I would say pretty equal between both. Mitch, you totally can move it. And actually, there's a lot of people who do move their pendulum to get the movements. The technique that I teach does not teach that. It's not something that I personally look at or do. So yeah, there's a lot of things though to work through that to troubleshoot it too. And honestly, a lot of like what Janessa teaches to get the energy flowing correctly is most of it, honestly. Let's see, though, for Joni. You got a lot going on, Joni. Like, we've got pentacles, we've got swords, we've got cups. There is a lot that you're kind of focusing on. So I understand your question now, because it looks like your focus right now is very much kind of in all directions. It's not tailored in, and we can't do everything all at once, right? So let's come into this. Yeah, so I'm not going to go into the tarot as much because it literally told us exactly probably why you're asking the question, which is, you know, where should I be focusing? Because right now it looks like you're focusing on all fronts. So I went ahead and the deck that I'm going to use, I think for most of the readings, is this Mystical Wisdom Gratitude deck. I think you guys can see that. I do have a couple of these available as well if you guys like these, but the first card that came up is the 7 Deadly Sins. This, when I'm looking at this card, we're really looking at some of our addictive behaviors, some of the things that we do to fill space that perhaps is not really serving us. And to really come into that, the next one is gratitude. The gratitude card really wants us to take a look at what we already have. So what do you already have? How do you feel about it? And is it fulfilling? So it's really asking you to take a look at what the items are that you have, the behaviors, the emotions, the friends, the family. What do you value? Like, what do you truly value? Is there a reason why you're doing certain things or allowing certain behaviors in your life? I think it's really telling you to just assess those and see if, you know what, pendulum or muscle test those to see if they're serving you. Are they truly fulfilling? Are they giving back to you in the same manner that you give to them? And the final card that came was the friendship card. And this one is really talking about nurturing those relationships that are serving you. So when the friendship card comes up, and I want to clarify her, I'm feeling that is much more like telling you to focus on relationships, like emotional fulfillment. So I just want to see, and actually let's go to the Light Seers Tarot, and let's see what we get from that. See if there's confirmation in what we have going on there. Yeah, Knight of Cups. It's the new energy. It's the letting go sometimes of the old. So there could be some of the energy from the old that just isn't quite, you know, coming in and serving the way that it should. So that Knight of Cups energy is just telling you, like, you know what? The new is okay. The age of the relationship is not always the main factor, but really, really take a look and pay attention to those relationships and how they are truly serving or not serving you. It really wants you to take an accounting, an assessment of the life, of your life and the people in it and how those relationships are serving. Hopefully that makes sense, Joni. Feel free to leave comments in the chat if it does. Alexis, general reading all over the place. Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of us are going to be in the spot where we're not really focused or know where we should be looking. And a lot of that has to do with the ending of that shadow period of Mercury retrograde. The confusion does come with Mercury retrograde. So where we are focused or not is going to be a little different for each of us. I think it also has some to do with our Enneagram types. So if you guys are interested in Enneagrams, you know, Janessa is the queen of the Enneagram, so hit her up again at Fiercely Radiant. Kind of worn out, Alexis. Like, you have had a ton going on. Kind of feel like you went to battle and got beat up. There is a lot of wand energy, a lot of doing. So far it is literally all wands, but it's okay, good. So like coming into this, like there is a lot. The Nine of Wands is very much that, like, you do kind of feel beat up. Like, you gave so much. You gave away so much of your time, your energy, your actions to something, and you feel a little beat up, a little betrayed in the situation. And then there's a lot of that. Eight of Wand energy was the next one that came in, where you're looking to move forward, you're looking to do something different. You are looking for an action that you can really take to move out of whatever the situation is. There could be a little bit of anger behind this one though, Alexis, but what the next card that I really like that came forward is the World, which is the completion of a cycle. It is whatever this situation was, it is coming to an end. How it's going to work out is very much there. I want to get you some clarifiers though. So let's come in here. Let's go back to the gratitude deck too. I'm glad the World card came, because that means you're not going to sit in this energy for very long. The way it's going to work out is it's going to end fairly quickly, whatever the situation is. But I want to get you some clarification on that ending. Yeah, go with the flow, let things happen is the first one, but let's get you some more. Yeah, so the first one is that go with the flow and just let things happen. You need to just be in the state of, this is the cautionary one, right? Because we had the wand energy of doing, and it's kind of cautioning you now to just go with it, and whatever happens, happens. Don't force it. Don't feel like you have to be in that masculine energy of just doing. Just kind of let it happen. And the next one for that outcome was the Archangel Raphael, which is all about healing. That is the angel of healing of the mind, body, and spirit. So however this completes, it's going to be a very healing. It's not going to end badly. It's not going to be something that you regret. The next one that came forward is the Dolphin Card, which is all about happiness. It really is like, just let it go. Don't even waste any brain space on it. Don't worry about it. It's going to work out. You're divinely connected. You are divinely supported and protected. And it's going to work out in a really great manner for you. So just don't stress. Don't stress about it. Don't worry about it. It's going to come to completion without you doing anything, and that completion is going to be beneficial to you. And I think you're actually going to like the outcome. I didn't feel any ominous or like foreboding with it. It's just finally whatever has really been wearing you out is going to complete the cycle. So I hope that makes sense. Who's next? Sarah. Let's do a general Sarah. You are welcome. And if these prompt anything to where you guys want more information, I'm always happy to do card readings as well. So you can private message me to set up an individual session. I like to really look at them though from a chakra standpoint, because rather than just getting information, I also want to provide you with the ability to heal from it as well, or to move forward. So I like looking at the chakra standpoints and assessing how that could be an interference pattern coming through too. So Sarah, a little bit of a focus on money, and it actually looks like new money. Are you applying for a job or a new position, a raise, or promotion? You're leery of it though too. There's definitely new money coming in. With this, the Knight of Pentacles is the first one that came up, which is very much that new energy, new money coming in. The Knight of Pentacles is one of those that's pretty stable. So the income flow is actually fairly stable with the Knight of Pentacles, even though it's something new. Can be a new job. We'd have to probably go into like a full reading to know if it's that, but it's certainly something financial coming in for you through this. But you're a little bit leery of it. Like you, with this sword energy, you're a little bit questioning of whether there's deception behind it or if it's truly going to best serve you. So you're a little bit concerned with that. And then the next one, it's an emotional standpoint. So I think logically this feels really good to you, but from an emotional standpoint, whatever this financial situation is, you're worried emotionally at that level. The Eight of Cups is the next one that came in, which is kind of cautioning you or telling you to walk away from the emotional side of it, or excuse me, not walk away from the emotional side of it. Focus on the emotional side of it and how does it feel to you. I do want to get you some more clarifier on that though. first, is it financial related? So let's go here first. Is it finances? Is it a new job or promotion? Yeah, it is definitely finances and something with that. Let's see how the ending is going to be, though, with the Oracle. It's kind of telling you to let go and just do it, whatever this is. When we're looking at Pentacles, without doing that full reading, I mean, it could be a new house, it could be a purchase, could be a move even, but it's certainly pretty big, whatever this is. It's something you would know. Dragonfly is the first one that came, which is live life to the fullest, and then the next one was face your fears. So I feel like these cards very much just go together. And it's kind of letting you know to just let go, like let go of it and just do whatever this is that you're coming into and let it flow to you. And it's going to work out. Like whatever this is, it seems scary, but it's not. It's meant for you. So I hope that adds some clarification, Sarah. Guidance for a job. Chelsea, let's see. Let's just do like a general pull around getting a new job. Yeah. Sarah, It's going to be a new income stream for sure. The outcome was great with that though. As long as you focus like on the feels, right? Focus on how it feels while you're doing it. So that was a really great one, but that was a huge energy behind that, Sarah. So that's something big for you. So don't overlook the fact that that is a very pivotal thing for you and something that's big. So go you. Congrats. Yeah, so Chelsea, the first one that came up around the getting a job or a job in general is the Moon, which whenever I get this as the first card coming out of the reading, it's very indicative to me of kind of deceiving ourselves, fooling ourselves, talking ourselves out of things, questioning, backtracking, looking at the past, all of the what ifs or the what could happens and things like that. So we step on our own hose, as Janessa says, with that. So it looks to me like based on that card coming out as the first one, you're stepping on your own hose. Like, the water's ready to flow. You just have to kind of let it happen. And Ace of Swords is what came in, which is Swords energy is very much about the here and now. It's the material things. It's about the present world. It's not really the etheric realms or spiritual realms or anything like that. It's really wanting you to focus on something new. Do it differently. Do your life differently and just kind of take that leap of faith, even of, action. It's very action based. And I say that because Queen of Wands was the next one. The Queen of Wands does what she needs to do. She's very focused on doing, but she's very stable as well. So, I mean, this reading for me is very much just kind of get out of your own way, so to speak. And don't go through all of the things that could go wrong, if that makes sense. And let's get you just a little bit of clarifying from this. Make sure we're on the right track. Yeah, you got the Dolphin as well. Don't worry, be happy. You also got the go with the flow and just let things happen. So very much a lot of that same, like, just get out of your way, right? Get out of your own way. Allow things to flow to you and kind of stop questioning. Just let that control pattern go. Let the processing, reprocessing, all of the things. And I see your comment. There is no perfect job always. So maybe looking at the idea of perfect for me is odd. But at the same time, I kind of would tell you to reflect and say, what does perfect job look like to you? What are all the ways and things that looks like? And is that actually attainable? That would be one thing to take a look at. But sometimes we just have to do what we can, right? It's not always perfect. There's always something that we need to work on or change. So perfect for me is not a word that really meets reality for me. Mitch, okay, and I answered your pendulum question. I would encourage you to take a look at that workshop, though, if that's something that we can get together. It would, if we do it, again, it would probably be offered in person at Emerald Healing Arts and Apothecary, and also virtually as well, just so we could support the whole community. And Mitch, why am I seeing repeating numbers on the card draw? So what I tell everyone when they see repeating numbers, you can go look up the correspondences of what like 1111 means, right? It means your angels and spirit guides are all looking out for you, like they're with you and all of that. But it's more important to think first about what you were focused on. What were you thinking about? What were you doing? What was your brain thinking about? What was your heart feeling at the time that you saw those repeating numbers? Do that first. Write it down, then go look up what the correspondence is to those angel numbers, and then see how the two relate. So, like, for instance, 555 is all about change, right? So if you're sitting in contemplation going, man, like, should I make this change or should I not? Should I go for this new job and quit my old one? Or should I just stay with the old one and not change anything? And then you see 555, that tells you to make the change. So they quite literally give you the answers to your questions that you're seeking, but it's hard to just, I mean, when you look up at 1111, it's like, okay, great, my angels and spirit guides are with me. What does that mean? You know, what are they trying to tell me? What do I do with that? But if you do it in the reverse of, what am I thinking about? Okay, I saw the number, I know the number. What am I thinking about right now? What was I hyper focused on? Okay, I got that. Now let me go look up the correspondence. Now you have a direction or an answer to your question because you know what it pertains to. So, you know, if you're looking at something from that perspective, you can really get the answers that you're seeking in a manner that fits you and your situation, rather than going, oh, it's awesome, I see 1111, but I have no clue what that means. Well, that's because it means something different each time you see it, and it's based upon what you are thinking about, focused on. You know, a lot of those conversations in our heads are really probably conversations with our guide teams. So that's the best way they can bring it to us, is bringing the conversation to us where we're having a conversation with ourselves, and then they add in the repeating number to try to get our attention and say, pay attention. This conversation we're currently having is important, and here's why, and here's what you can do with it. That is my recommendation, Mitch, with that. So I think I covered all of the questions from our subscribers tonight. So thank you all so very much. Janessa will be in Sacred Healing Project on Wednesday. If you guys did not watch her episode last week, though, of Soul Calling, do it. It was amazing, and I found out so much in self-reflection about myself during it. I highly encourage you to go back and watch that. And then also take a look at her this Wednesday as well, and I will be in there on Friday. We will be looking at energy psychology, crystal healing, as always, so definitely take a look at us in there. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you all go for your night. Again, if you're watching on replay, feel free to ask any questions you have about Kunzite. But with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday night, and universal blessings, everyone. Have a great week.